One Punch Man, Chapter 114, Cadres. So this was, of course, a great chapter, as always. And it seems like one of Murata are taking a slower approach to this arc, or just this general part of the arc, than I initially thought they were going to. But it's fine, no need to rush. It's not always about the destination, especially with this, considering there's been so much time and effort being put into where we are currently. It's more about the journey at this point, so let's just enjoy it. And I think at this point, we've been introduced to all of the cadre/executives, right? I don't think there's any more people that we need to go into, so meaning that we could just, I don't know, ride out the rest of this with whatever's going to happen. So let's get into it. So we're meeting back up with Pig God, and it's always cool to see what's going on with this guy. He's a very interesting character, but I more or less have like an ambivalent stance towards him. Not that I don't like him or anything, it's just he doesn't really have the X factor that the other heroes have, and the story hasn't really gone into him too much, and I don't think it ever will, really. I mean, it would be cool if we got a backstory on this guy, because there's a lot of mystery, and there's always hints being dropped as to Pig God not being normal. You know, there's something special to him, kind of like with Watchdog Man, Darkshine, Metal Bat. There's something more to him than him just being able to eat monsters the way that he does. There's a big secret to Pig God, definitely, and I'm sure as the series goes on, we're going to get more and more into that, but for now, he's kind of just there. You know, he's kind of supplementary to the cast, especially to this arc. I mean, because has there ever really been an extended sequence with Pig God that didn't last a few pages, and then we kind of just move on from that? I mean, this chapter is more evident than ever, because so far with this arc, Pig God has just kind of came and went, but now we're seeing that he actually gets to have his own solo cadre fight, or executive fight, because that's just where we're being introduced to Gums for the first official time, and I think this is also the first time we're getting this guy's name, along with the other cadre that we're going to be getting into in this chapter. So I've been saying, of course, their names and whatnot because we know about them from the webcomic, but I don't really think that's spoiler stuff, just saying a character's name, unless it like directly relates to what they're about, but you can kind of see why he's called Gums, because, you know, he has a big mouth with big gums. And it seems like more or less this guy is just like the counterpart of Pig God. Not even like a foil to him so much as we've seen with like the other executives X-Class hero battles that we've had so far. Because this isn't like what we've seen with like Black S versus Atomic Samurai, or recently with Fura Ugly versus My Mask. This is kind of like fighting fire with fire, I guess. And I also assumed that, like, if Pig God were to become a monster, this is what he'd probably look like, or more or less what he would be. Because, like I've been saying, they seem to share the same exact abilities. They essentially can eat anything. They can expand themselves. They're morbidly obese, and that plays into their abilities. And I'm assuming that Gums has crazy levels of strength. I mean, it kind of goes without saying, considering he's a dragon-level monster and he looks like a friggin' tank. And expanding upon the tanky aspect, I'm sure he has insane durability as well. Because that's kind of what Pig God is all about. He can eat things much bigger than himself. He can digest them quickly. He definitely has superhuman strength because he's able to bust through walls and stuff like that. He's also able to just constrict the monsters that he's eating. And, you know, monsters, regardless of their disaster level, have some kind of amplified level of strength. And he's also durable, because his body was able to bust through the wall that we saw earlier in the Monster Invasion arc when he was saving Child Emperor from eyesight. But also, going back to his tankiness, he was able to just straight up tank poison from eyesight when she, you know, lit him up with all of those snakes and injected him with the poison and whatnot. It didn't really affect him all that much. And that's also going back into there being more to Pig God than what we know. Because, like, you know, even Child Emperor thought that Pig God was probably going to die from taking all that poison. But no, he just tanked it, more or less. So it could be because of his morbid obesity, but I don't think that really plays into real life. Because I know that, you know, there's, like, the whole thing, like, bigger people can take in more alcohol or whatever, you know, the standard tropes for big people being able to take more of something in general. I don't think it's mainly that. I think it's whatever kind of inherent supernatural, just otherworldly ability that Pig God has. I also really like the panel where we see Pig God like scarfing down the fodder monster, and then behind him is Gums about to eat him. And it's like that common theme of nature where I'm sure we've all once or twice seen this clip of like a fish eating like a smaller fish, and then behind that fish is an even bigger one and it eats him. Yeah, it's just like a common theme, like I've been saying. It also goes back to like what Qui-Gon said in episode 1 of Star Wars, where there's like always a bigger fish, and I think that's what's playing out here. I like how Murata has depicted this, and just, you know, the theme that one is going for here, because if there is a bigger fish than Pig God in this eating game, it's definitely Gums, because he seems to be much larger than Pig God, who's already a pretty big dude in himself, but probably more powerful. I'm just going to take a guess, because he's a friggin' cadre, and Pig God, while he is powerful like we've been talking about, he just doesn't quite seem to be on the cadre level. So I'm not saying that Pig God isn't a dragon. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. We haven't seen enough. Maybe we're going to find out exactly if he is a dragon, because at least he's able to compete with Gums here, doing much better than what a My Mask was able to do against If You're Ugly. Now, granted, it's not, he doesn't really have the debilitating handicap that a My Mask does have here, but he's certainly proving that he can at least compete with a dragon, because he just didn't settle for being eaten by Gums. He was able to muscle himself out of his stomach, so that's pretty impressive there. And then we see like his eyes light up, and then he just immediately goes into like a pro wrestler struggle with Gums. This is awesome. This is also how it plays out in the webcomic. Another great adaptation from Murata, like panel to panel here. I really like how this goes down. And if you've noticed, there's like little to no dialogue, if anything. Like the only dialogue here is Gums saying nom. I guess that's all he could say. I guess he's like kind of like overgrown rover, and while he's not exactly non-intelligent, he just probably just can't really speak that well, and he's more or less just goes off of his instincts. I mean, he could probably take orders and understand language and stuff like that, but maybe he just can't speak himself. And also going back to Pig God's strength, the fact that he could just do this pro wrestler struggles type thing with Gums is showing that he's pretty damn strong in himself, because he's not immediately getting out muscled by Gums here. But unfortunately, that's where it's going to end. And like I was saying earlier, this is part of the course with Pig God. We just get him in small doses, and that's likely we're not going to see this fight, or at least most of it. Maybe it will change in the manga. I certainly hope it does. It's always nice to expand upon these characters, especially the S-Class heroes, but I wouldn't get your hopes up if you're like a fan of Pig God and you want to see his fight go down with Gums. We're probably not going to see it. Just taking a guess here. So then it cuts to Atomic Samurai's disciples, and apparently they've just been chasing down this fodder monster that they had a tangle with. And we have to remember that they're coming off of their epic battle with Devil Longhair, a demon level monster who, is held in high regard of the Monster Association, and they were able to defeat him. Pretty impressive for 3 A-class heroes to be able to take down a demon, such as the caliber of Devil Longhair, because, he is held in high regard. He's not just one of the fodder level demons that we've seen throughout this arc. So maybe he's like a mid to high demon, which is very impressive, because the Hero Association and their metrics that they have for threats and how heroes have to go about them. I've already said this before, so forgive me if you've heard it, but they say that you need at least one S-Class hero to take down a demon or take on a demon, and then you need at least 10 A-Class heroes to even compete with a demon level monster. So we're just seeing the 3 top level A-Class guys here taking down a pretty high caliber demon. So very impressive for them. But unfortunately now they're running into a dragon, a cadre. So let's get into this guy. I think this might be the 3rd time we're ever seeing him in the actual series. The Evil Natural Water, of course. Before this, I think we just got that one panel of him in Chapter 89 or Chapter 90, when we first are introduced to the executives existing at all. And then after that, I think we just get one little reaction panel of him in Chapter 106 after Saitama punches Rover. But other than that, that's it. So the dialogue that we're getting from the fodder monster here about him being the most mysterious member of the Monster Association is pretty true, because we don't know anything about this guy up until this point. And this, I love how this is all playing out. It's very interesting because we don't get this sequence in the webcomic. When the disciples encounter evil natural water, it's kind of just already happened. Like, this is already all skipped over. We don't see any of this. We never see the evil natural water being held in the tank that he's in. And we already knew that this was kind of a thing because when we first see the evil natural water, what I was talking about in 89 or 90, he is in a tank then. Although it didn't seem like it was this small at that time. It seemed like it was bigger because of the perspective that we got. But we're seeing that he's just in like a, like a big fish tank, like one that you'd see like in an expensive dentist's office or something like that. And it's interesting how they're holding him. And also, not only is he in like in a tank, but he's also in a friggin' vault. So that's how dangerous this guy is. He needs to be in a tank in a friggin' vault. So why is this vault down here? I don't know. I thought they were in the remnants of the subterraneans place. So maybe this is a part of the subway or something? I don't know. Maybe there's not an explanation as to why the vault is down here. Or maybe Giro got some monsters contracted to make this vault for them. Or maybe they'll talk about it earlier. But as far as I know, the only things that are down here is the subterranean base and the subway, or the old abandoned subway, or whatever it is. It's not abandoned because we saw that it was still active after Orochi blew that hole through the ground, and when we saw that one subway train. So maybe I'm reading too much into this. I just don't know why there's a vault down here, but like I said, maybe it was made specifically by Giro to hold this friggin' crazy guy, because more dialogue we're getting on him is that the fodder monster says that he's heard that Giro has difficulty controlling this one. So that's interesting. This is also some info that we're not privy to in the webcomic. We don't know how the executives came together, more or less. It's kind of just implied that they were found by Giro, but as the manga goes on, we're getting more info and more backstory as to how this all came together. But very interesting with the evil natural water, because it doesn't seem like it's too sentient. I mean, of course, it has sentience, but it's going back to what I was talking about with, like, Rover and Gums. It seems to be more on the level of Rover. So maybe Giro was able to get evil natural water similar to how we can assume she got Rover, kind of just found them, because we know Giro using her Esper abilities can see like everything around her in like a huge radius, like throughout the Monster Association. So I assume that when she was, in public, she's able to just sense these powerful monsters, or maybe she specifically went around until she found all of the most powerful monsters. Because we also know that she can gauge the strength of somebody. So she's like, oh my god, this water with eyeballs in it is friggin' insane. Same thing with Rover. Like, oh my god, this dog is insane. So how she got the evil natural water, I don't know. Maybe she used her Esper abilities and just contained him in this tank. I guess that's what we're led to believe. Unless we do get a full-fledged out backstory on the evil natural water, which would be pretty cool. So another interesting thing here is the fish inside of the evil natural water. So these fish aren't originally in him in the webcomic. It's kind of just the evil natural water, and that's it. There's no fish. Well, he does still have the eyeballs, but that's about it. But we're also seeing that these fish are kind of their own thing. They're not necessarily a part of the evil natural water. Apparently, they're tiger level, the Mad Doctor fish, aka the Red Gar and Nibble fish. And they seem to not care about anything. They'll just kill any monster, apparently. They have no allegiance. Maybe a similar case with the evil natural water. Maybe he's kind of just, like, going out there and doing whatever he wants. That's why Giro can't control him that well and needs to keep him inside of the tank, inside of this vault that they're in. Because, he can't be controlled, and she's kind of just banking on him being a loose cannon and taking out the Hero Association, just, hopefully that she doesn't take out the Monster Association in the process as well. But yeah, so I don't know why these fish are inside of him. Maybe they were initially inside of him, like when it was existing out in nature, and that maybe being inside of him transformed the fish into monsters, because it seems like it doesn't have a problem with these fish being inside of it, because it would probably kill them if it did. So Maybe they have some kind of symbiotic relationship, possibly. But also they can be used as weapons, too, because we see them, like, straight up flying out of the evil natural water, going after E-Iron. And as expected, E-Iron's able to deal with these things, no problem, because they are tigers, and he's likely the most powerful A-class hero. And we also saw, you know, what I was talking about, them take down a demon-level monster. So, not too surprising that he could take care of these tiger-level fish. But also, we're seeing what the evil natural water is really capable of. We're just getting one glimpse of it, but no exposition on it, unfortunately, yet. But just one, like, beam of water, one jet stream just shoots super fast right at E-Iron. It seems like he's just barely able to dodge this, but it's so powerful that it just cleanly takes out a hunk of his sword. So that's how powerful this stream, this water beam that the evil natural water is capable of producing is. So this is a very interesting type of villain. Just a big, sentient pool of water that can just do essentially whatever it wants and shoots super powerful jet streams out of it. So, like, really, how do you deal with something like this? Because even, like, E-Iron's like, Master has yet to teach us the method for cutting water. And I'm sure in the world of One Punch Man and through all these crazy techniques, you can cut water, but we know that in reality, there's no cutting water, you know? So this is going to be super interesting. I wouldn't bet on the executives taking down the evil natural water. Maybe if this was a shonen, you know, maybe if they wanted to have that crazy underdog story. But we all know how things play out in One Punch Man. That is not quite the case in this series. So is this going to be the end of the Disciples? I mean, 'cause they were barely able to take down Devil Longhair. So I don't think it's likely at all that they're going to be taking down the evil natural water here. So yeah, I mean, he's a cadre, dragon level. There's no chance that they're going to be able to do anything at all here. So hopefully they don't die, because that would be sad. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the chapter. Let me know what you think about the evil natural water. Where do you think things are headed? I mean, obviously you guys who've read the webcomic know, but you know, you manga only guys, let me know what you think. What's going to happen after this point? Because things are getting really bad for the Hero Association, because they're all kind of just going down in stock at this point. They were at an all-time high, taking down the demons and everything, and that was fun. But now that we're seeing the cadres are insane, it's like not working out for them anymore. So yeah, if you liked the video, please give it a like. I also have a Patreon that gives you access to a weekly Q&A. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day. See you in the next one.